Hello, everybody, and happy Macro Monday. It seems like I haven't talked to y'all in forever, but really, it has been a little minute because we did have our workshops last week, so I wasn't able to, be here with y'all or whatever. But I'm here today, so don't even worry about that. But y'all be sure to keep an eye out, keep an ear out, all of that for the workshops that are coming up in the summer. I definitely don't want to miss them because this round was really, really good. So keep an eye out and ear out all of that for that next time we have them. But yeah, so like I said, I'm back today. So we're gonna go ahead and start where we picked off. As far as the tutorials and stuff like that, I kind of want to keep with the tutorials. I don't know if you guys find them interesting or not, because y'all never give me no feedback. But with Mark's Pushin Pawns, he does actual games, and so I want to kind of let him stay with the game side, and then I'll stick with the kind of tutorial kind of things that it's different still. And then of course, we're gonna have most likely, as long as everything goes to plan, we're gonna have Zaria come on this Friday at 4:30. So y'all be sure to tune in with that as well. So thank y'all again for all of our viewers and everything like that. Let me just go ahead and pull up my screen. All right, so I do remember that. Oh, let me make sure to share my sound because if y'all, have been here, y'all know I always forget to share my sound. But I know that, we kind of left off with going into the intermediate. I feel like, my viewers, I feel like y'all are, y'all understand the pieces, how they move, the points, all that good stuff. So now we're into strategically moving our pieces. And like I said, I am learning these tutorials, learning these strategies, all of that with you guys. So don't, with the challenges, if I get them wrong, don't charge it to me, okay? Because like I said, I'm learning. Well, I know how to play, but I'm learning these tutorials and all that stuff with y'all. So I guess we can just go ahead and start with the first one again, which is making the most of your pieces. So let's see. All right, we did all then. All right, so now we're going to go into using your pawns. And so as y'all remember, if y'all remember, I'm going to go ahead and remove myself from the screen just so that, everybody can have a greater view or a better view of the screen. And then after that, I'll come back and then we'll start these challenges. So let's go ahead and get started.
Pawns have been called the soul of chess. This is because the structure and plans in each chess game are determined by the positioning of the pawns. Understanding how to use pawns is one of the most challenging aspects of chess. Pawns may only be worth 1 point each in the scale of chess values, but together they add up to 8. Pawns should be used for 4 main things. First, they're used to control squares. In this position, look how many white pawns control so many key squares in the center. Black has a lot of pieces, but they have nowhere to move. Secondly, pawns are used to protect other pieces. Look here where white would love to capture some of those powerful black pieces, but they are all protected by pawns. Third, pawns are useful as battering rams to open up the position. Watch this little pawn on h6 open up the position by playing h takes g7. White captures the pawn directly in front of black's king and opens up the h-file, allowing white's queen and rook to work together to deliver a checkmate on h7. Notice black has no way to stop this. After king takes g7, queen takes h7 is checkmate. Finally, pawns are most useful when they reach the other side of the board and become a queen. Watch this little guy go. Black tries to catch the pawn with king to c6, but black's king is too far away, and white promotes to a queen. Now let's see if you can make the most of your pawns.
All right, sorry, I was trying to take myself off of mute. Okay, so before I talk about the video, I keep forgetting to read the description, so let me get into that. So, descriptions. Well, I don't know if that's really this. I guess I'm gonna start calling it the description. But okay, so it says pawns have 4 primary uses. 1, pawns can control key squares, such as the center. If your pawns control the center, the opponent won't be able to put pieces on good squares. 2, pawns are also helpful protecting your own pieces so they cannot be captured. Three, pawns are useful as battering rams to open a path to the opposing king. Four, pawns are good for promoting into more powerful pieces. Okay, so pretty much with that being said, the video was just like I've mentioned a few times, like other videos have mentioned, protecting your pieces at all costs, and then just knowing how to use your pawns, like this, challenge is stating, I guess. Okay, so it says it's white's move. Black has the bishop on c5, and just so that y'all remember, c5 right there. Okay. Black. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. Sorry. Black thinks the bishop on c5 enjoys an excellent diagonal. Can you take over the center and attack Black's bishop at the same time? All right, so the center four squares that you always want to, let me see, take note of and protect and kind of control, I guess you can say, is d4, d5, as well as e4 and e5. So I'm going to go ahead and move my pawn right there to that d4 square. Okay, so it says d4 is correct. Nicely done. White puts a second pawn in the center and gains time against Black's ooh. Oh, sorry. Okay. White puts a second pawn in the center and gains time against Black's attacked bishop. Black checks white. Can you find another strong pawn move to gain time against the bishop? I mean, I feel like I don't know what they mean by gain time, I guess, but okay, so C3 is correct. Great job. Black's bishop is forced to retreat again when white controls the center and has a strong lead in development. All right, and so development, just getting your pieces out there so that you have, and then it's great, well, good, great, however you want to phrase it, say it, to get your pieces out there as well because it's easier to move them when you have your pieces kind of you'll see, if you guys play chess and everything like that, you'll kind of notice it. Like if your pieces are all kind of together, your bishops can't get out. It's just your bishops, your queen, any piece really can't move because your pawns are in the way or your knights or whatever. So developing is always a good thing. All right, so once again, it's white's move, and it says white's bishop is in danger of being captured. Can you find the best defense? All right, so white's bishop is in danger. I'm assuming this is the only one I see, so yes, the one on c5. All right, so and then the one that's capturing or threatening to capture is this knight right here. Remember, 7 are L shapes, a total of 3 squares. 1, 2, 3. There you go. All right, so the knight on e4 is threatening to capture my bishop on c5. All right, so it says, can you find the best defense? Now, I assume the best defense would be to keep my piece protected, and I'll do that by moving this pawn right there. Like I said, it's protected, so if that knight still does decide to capture, I can capture because no pawns capture diagonal. All right, so there you go. So it says, great job. Pawns can be important defenders. Okay, so it's white's move again. Pawns can force open important squares during it. Oh my gosh, sorry y'all. Pawns can force open important squares during an attack. Can you find a powerful pawn move in this position? All right, so pawns can force open important squares. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and press forward with it, but then I don't know if, let me see. I don't know if this is right. Okay. All right. Nicely done. White's pawn forces black to weaken the dark squares around black's king. How can white take advantage of these weaknesses? All right. So one, as y'all seen, I moved, well, I can't really go back, but I moved my pawn from f5 to f6, and then black moved their pawn from g7 to g6. All right. So now the question is, how can white take advantage of these weaknesses? Now, okay, so the first thing I thought of was capturing this pawn right here, g6. But I don't know. I just don't feel like that's right. Yeah, okay. This move does not take advantage of the weakened dark squares and black's king try again. Okay. Um. Oh. Okay. It took me a minute, but I got it, y'all. So okay, queen to h6 is correct. You got it. White's queen joins the pawn again in the attack against the g7 square. Black now threatens checkmate on g2, but White's attack comes first. Finish the game. All right. Okay, so White's f-pawn was critical in opening lines around Black's king for a successful attack. Great job. All right, so this is the last one before the second to last one before we get into the next one. Okay, so it says White to move. White's queen and bishops are pointing toward Black's unprotected king side. So let me see, White. Okay, so White's queen and then two bishops right there. Which pawn move opens up an overwhelming attack that wins material? Okay, so and then it's White's move. So let me read that again. Which pawn move opens up an overwhelming attack that wins material? Um, okay, I see the pawn on f7, and that's the first thing that I'm thinking of. But it wouldn't win direct material. And so that's I guess you could say my question is if I'm trying to win direct material or not. Because okay, let me show y'all. If I move right here to f5, my next turn, if this pawn doesn't move, I'll be able to capture it, but I don't think that's what it's asking. So let me read the description, the question, all of that one more time. It says, White's queen and bishops are pointing toward Black's unprotected king side. Okay. Which pawn move opens up an overwhelming attack? Oh, okay. First of all, I'm tripping because I was looking at Black. I'm supposed to be White. All right, so sorry. Which pawn move opens up an overwhelming attack that wins material? I don't know, y'all. I feel like it's either moving c4 or d4, I believe. Um, let's go with that's not right. I knew it. I knew it before I even said it. Okay. So, okay, let me read this real quick. A dangerous diagonal has been opened against Black's king, but Black's defenses are hanging on. There is a much stronger way to open up this diagonal. Try again. Okay. Well, I told y'all it was either c4 or d4. So, like I said, I don't know why I keep choking. Okay. Anyways, d5 is correct. What a powerful pawn move. White threatens Black's knight on c6 and opens up the queen and bishop's checkmate against g7. Black will at least lose a knight to avoid checkmate. All right, so this is the last one. Then we're getting into the next section, I guess. Okay, so it's White's move again. It says White's passed pawn on a6 is 2 squares away from promotion. What is White's best move to prepare this idea? It could be protection. Hold on. White's passed pawn on a6 is 2 squares away from promotion. What is White's best move to prepare this idea? All right, so okay, so I see this queen right here, and the queen is on the diagonal that would get to a8. So once I promote, you know, so I'm assuming moving, right? One, okay. Since White's rook controls the promotion square, oh wait, I don't know where I seen since from. White's rook controls the promotion square, but now Black's threatening checkmate on g2. See if you can find another way to threaten to promote the pawn. This move does not prepare. Okay, so just moving then? Sometimes the simplest move is the best. Black's queen is forced to retreat to prevent White from promoting. How can White destroy Black's defenses? Okay, so then moving here. Okay. Excellent job forking the king and queen. Now let's capture Black's queen and make the strongest promotion move. All right. It says excellent play. The lesson's complete. Now we're ready for the next lesson, which is pieces working together. All right. This is 5 minutes long. All right, y'all. Well, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let me read the description, then I'll move myself from the screen. I don't know why my hair looks like that on this side. Anyway, okay, so it says, like in team sports, all of your pieces should work together for success in chess. One powerful piece will not be able to compete with many pieces working together. All right, so this is because previously, we went over the pawn, the queen, the bishop, the knight, the rook. I hope I didn't forget. Now, let me see. But anyway, so yeah, we went over all the pieces. So now we're actually looking at combining them and using them all together. All right, but yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and remove myself from the screen and we're gonna get into the video.
Chess is a lot like team sports. You wouldn't send just one football player onto the field to win the game all alone. In chess, you'll want to use all of your pieces working together to achieve the same goal. Let's take a look at this position. Look at White's pieces. Notice how well they are working together. White has a pawn controlling the center, and notice how all of White's pawns are well placed, helping each other out. White's queen and bishop are lined up together on the b1 to h7 diagonal, pointing directly toward Black's castled king. White's knight on g5 is aggressively placed, joining the queen and bishop in attacking the king side. White's other knight protects the knight on g5 and also controls key central squares. White's rooks are connected and ready to jump into action on the f-file once White's knight on f3 moves. Now look at Black's position. The pawns aren't controlling as many squares, and Black has very little control of the center. The rooks are passive, the knights aren't coordinated, Black's bishop is unprotected, and what is that queen doing on a7? Let's walk through a few moves to see what will happen. White's rooks are ready to join the rest of the team and enjoy great activity on the f-file, but White's knight on f3 is in the way, so White brings the knight into the center with knight e5. The knight attacks the unprotected bishop on d7 and also opens up the rooks to put pressure on the f-file. Notice how the rooks join the knights in placing pressure on f7. There's 4 attacking pieces total on that square. Notice the knight on g6 is pinned because if the knight captures the knight on e5, this opens up the b1 to h7 diagonal, allowing checkmate with queen takes h7. If Black tries to fork White's knights with f6, White can play knight takes g6. Notice how all of White's pieces work together, so Black does not have a good defense. If Black takes the knight on g5, this opens up the f-file and allows checkmate with rook takes f8. If Black takes the knight on g6 with h takes g6, White will play queen takes g6, threatening checkmate on h7. If rook to e8, attempting to give the king an escape square if White delivers a check on h7, White now has another tactic using all of White's pieces together. Notice the pawn on g7 is pinned. Can you see how White can take advantage of the pinned pawn? That's right, rook takes f6. White captures the pawn and prevents the king from escaping to the f8 square. Queen h7 checkmate is on its way. Black plays bishop to e8, bringing the bishop to safety and adding another protector to f7. Black's scattered, passive pieces are no match for White's well-coordinated team of pieces. White now captures the knight on g6 with knight takes g6. Black is now forced to capture with the h-pawn because if f takes g6, the f-file is wide open and allows White to play rook takes f8, checkmate. After h takes g6, Black thinks everything is covered, but now the h-file has opened a new line of attack. White's knight is covering the h7 square, so White uses teamwork between the knight and the queen to set up mate in 1 with queen h3. Look at how nice the queen and knight work together, threatening checkmate on h7 on the very next turn. Black does not have a defense because the rook on f8 cannot move, so the king does not have a flight square. If Black attempts f6, attacking the knight, it's too little too late. White plays queen h7, checkmate. White's pieces worked very well as a team, combining the powers of each piece to overwhelm Black's defenses. Now it's your turn to practice making your pieces work together.
All right. So, okay, so with that video, like I said, it's just combining all the pieces. Um, so yeah, and I really like these tutorials because I'll tell you myself, I'm not the best chess player. I know how to play, but I like, going through these and stuff like that because it teaches you more strategic ways and how to actually thoroughly know why you move in certain places and all that good stuff. But anyway, so it says black just promoted a pawn into a queen on b1. B1 right there. White is outnumbered, but can you make white's pieces work together to force a checkmate in two moves? All right, so first let me look at the pieces that I have. I have a knight, two knights, one knight on d6, another knight on d5. Then I have these two rooks right here. Um, um, sorry. Okay, so the first thing that I was thinking of is moving my rooks. Let me see. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so let me see. Dang, okay. Nice try, but there's a much stronger checkmate. Would it be going here? Dang, nice try, but there's a much stronger. Okay, so let me see. Okay. Dang! Nice idea, but black's king is not forced to the corner. There is no checkmate, so black is winning. Okay. Let me see, because all the plans that I had is just literally out the window. Um, okay, let me read this again. Black just promoted a pawn into a queen on b1. White is outnumbered, but can you make white's pieces work together to force a checkmate in two moves? Um, all right, so I moved to f7 and okay, let me see, f7 both times, g6, oh, f6. Um, all right, okay, so let me see. Did I move to f5? Let's try that. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm ready to use a hint. Well, maybe okay. Okay. Nice try, but there's okay. Let's use a hint. White has only two safe checks in the position. One of them forces checkmate in two moves. Okay. All right. So check one. Um. Okay. Let me just try. Okay, that didn't work. This didn't work. That's more than two checks. Nice try, but there. Let me see. White has only two safe checks in the position. All right, y'all. I have to do the solution. Okay. Great move. Since Black's king would be checkmated on h8 after knight captures, Black moves the king to f8. Can your piece or Taylor deliver checkmate on the next move? Um. Um. Let me see. All right, so I feel like my next piece would be to move. My next piece to move would be a rook, saying that I'm using my pieces together, and I just use my knights. So let me show. Let me see. All right, White's two knights and rook work together to pull out the win. Nice job. All right. Okay, so this time it's Black's move. It says White's king has chased up the board. Or oh my gosh, White's king was chased up the board. Can you use Black's pieces together to force a checkmate in three moves? Take it one check at a time. All right, so it's Black's turn. Where's the okay? The king's right there. This is not a safe check against white's king. Okay. Okay. Since knight to k3, I mean, wait. Since k to h3, so king to h3, um, allowed our, oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm trying to read it in chess notation, y'all, so that y'all can understand, but I'm gonna just have to read it regular. All right, so since moving the king to h3 allowed rook on f3 checkmate, white's king runs to h5. Can you find a forced checkmate in 2 moves? Um, all right, white's king is forced to its doom. Checkmate white. Uh, y'all probably like Oujaa is right there. I told y'all I'm learning these with y'all, and like I said, I'm not the best chess player, so don't try to come for me. All right, so okay. And just so y'all remember, kings aren't allowed to be next to each other. Therefore, he can't capture right here. If I move, uh, pretty much kings can't be 2 squares next to each other. So keeping that in mind, let me see. Moving right there. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Excellent job. Excellent job using all your pieces together to hunt down the king. All right, let me see. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, y'all. I just had to, verify and check myself. Dang, I should have went back to tell y'all. Anyway, but yeah, I was just trying to see, how that was checkmate or whatever. But anyway, okay. All right. So once again, it is black's move, and it says white's king is exposed. Can you use black's rook, queen, and pawn on d4 together to force a checkmate in 2 moves? All right. So, sorry, y'all. Okay, so can you use black's rook, queen, pawn, and pawn? I mean, rook, queen, and pawn on d4 to force a checkmate. D4. All right. Um. All right. White's king is forced up the board. Can you bring home the victory with checkmate? Oh. Okay. Black has a strong position, but another move forces checkmate in 1 move. Try again. Um. Oh, I'm tripping. Let me see. Moving. No, it would just go back again. Um, Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna get it. Oh wait, no, I can't do that either. Let me see. All right, so it said the pawn, the rook, and the queen. I used the rook and the now, all right, looking at the pawn. Did I already? Yeah, I moved it. Um, I'm not gonna move it. My queen to e. Let me see. Because if he captures, yeah, there's nothing still threatening. So look for a check. It might be mates. I don't think that I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. So let me see. Um, you know what? Forget it. So yeah, okay, I knew it. This is not checkmate. Try again. And not moving there. That's not mate or check even. Um, I, I'm confused because let me see. I'm not. There's no point in me moving the rook again because literally it's just going to be a game of like back and forth. So let me see. There is no reason why I should be this hard. Give me a second, y'all. Let me think. White's king is exposed. Can you use black's rook, queen, and pawn on d4 together to force a checkmate in 2 moves? All right, so you move the rook already. Um, Hold on, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna figure it out. Just give me a second. Um, oh, let me see. But I don't think that's right either. That's not right. All right, y'all. I might just have to do the solution. See, yeah, I wasn't gonna do that. Okay, let me see. Okay, great teamwork. White is checkmated. Okay, so moving from G6 to C2. All right. This next one I'm gonna get it. So it says this black's move. White's king is nearly trapped. Can you trap White's king and threaten checkmate? Okay. Can't move this pawn. Um, I don't really want to move that pawn. I feel like moving the king right. Well, no. Um, let me. Okay. Um, sorry, y'all. I don't mean to keep getting quiet. I'm just trying to look and think and all that. Um, this is also a strong move, which is of course. Um, excellent work. White captures the h5 pawn, giving the king an escape square on g4. Can you find a checkmate before White's king escapes? All right, so this. No, I didn't mean to do that. I promise y'all, I was holding it, but I didn't mean to actually move it for real. Let me see. So G4, G4. All right, you got it. Black's king and knight work together to checkmate White. Okay. All right. See, I did it that time. I told y'all, y'all just gotta give me a second. It be taking me a quick little second to think stuff through, but then I begin it. So, all right. So it says, let's use all three, of White's pieces together to force checkmate. Step 1, force Black's king to A7. A7 is right there. A7. Um, sorry, y'all. I'm looking at the knight and where I can move my knight. That would force it to have to, move somewhere else. Um, let me see. I feel okay, so moving the bishop isn't gonna do anything. I don't think. I feel like moving the king closer, so to there. Okay, yeah. White's king joins the action. Take your time and find a force mate in 2. Um, so okay, that's already checked right there. So then I have to fork what you call it, a uh I have to fork some piece. Oh my goodness, I have to fork squares. There we go. So that the king can't move to a6 or a8. And the way to do that. Well, really, I don't have to, simply because a6 is already covered. So, well, actually, let me see. Okay, nice try, but oh yeah, we're going for checkmate. My bad, my bad. Okay. All right. White's knight forces black into the corner. Now it's bishop's turn. Oops, I didn't do that. Okay. All right. Lesson complete. You're ready for your next lesson. Passed pawns. All right.
One of the quick
As y'all know, I'm gonna go ahead and remove myself from the screen. And yeah, I'm just gonna get into it.
One of the quickest ways to end a chess game is to overwhelm your opponent by getting an extra queen. And to get an extra queen, you're going to need to get one of your pawns to the other side of the board, like this. And in order to do that, you're going to need what is called a passed pawn. A passed pawn is one that has a straight shot to the other side of the board without bumping into another pawn or being able to be captured by another pawn. The pawn has passed all the other pawn obstacles. Look at the pawn on f5. Is this a passed pawn? No, it's blocked by the pawn on f6. What about the pawn on b5? That's right, it's not blocked by any pawns and cannot be captured by another pawn as it advances up the board, so it's a passed pawn. One important feature of passed pawns is whether they are connected or not. Let's see what happens when you have a passed pawn that isn't connected. After b6, black can play king to c6, easily capturing that pawn before it gets to queen. In this position, white can save the pawn on b6 with the move c5. White has two connected passed pawns. Black will not be able to capture either of these pawns. Notice if black tries to take the pawn on c5, the other pawn runs up the board and promotes into a queen. Finally, you often can create a passed pawn by trading one of your pawns for one of the opponent's pawns when you have a pawn majority. A pawn majority is when you have more pawns on a certain side of the board than your opponent. In this position, white has two pawns against one pawn. This is a pawn majority, and white plays b6. After a takes b6, a takes b6, white captures back and now has a passed pawn. Can you make the most of your passed pawns? Let's see.
All right, y'all. So, as y'all know, I forgot to read the description again, so let me go ahead and get into that. It says, once most of the pieces have come off the board, focus on getting another queen. You can do that by making a passed pawn, a pawn with no opposing pawns that could ever block or capture it. Once you have a passed pawn, it's easier to advance it to promote. It's even better if you have two passed pawns on adjacent files. Connected passed pawns can't be effectively attacked by an opposing king. All right, so it's white's move, and it says black's passed pawn is racing down the board. How can white create a passed pawn in this race to promote? All right. I feel like even still moving right there. All right, so you got it. Black will promote first. Can you find a pawn move that wins a game for white? All right, excellent work. White captures black's pawn on a7, allowing a skewer. Promote the pawn to a queen. All right, let's capture black's queen. No problem. All right, nice work handling that tricky pawn endgame. Next. Okay, so it's white's move again. In this tricky endgame, can you find the only path for white's knight that prevents black's b pawn from promoting? So black's b pawn right here. Let me see. Can you find the only pawn, the only path for white's knight that prevents? Okay, sorry. White's knight cannot prevent the pawn from moving. In two moves, try again. All right, let's see. Dang, I thought then if I move right there, well, it's just gonna keep going. So yeah, okay. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Black. Okay. All right. Excellent job. What's the next move for White's knight? Let me see. Are we still trying to check the king? Are we still trying to prevent the pawn from promoting? What is our job here? Excellent job. What's the next move for White's knight? I guess moving out the way would be my next move. So let's try that. Nice try, but even with the check on e6, White's knight won't catch the pass pawn. Oh, okay, so we're trying to catch it. Okay. Quick is okay, nice try, but oh, okay. All right, all right. It would have to be right there then. Okay, yeah. You got it. How can White's knight prevent black from safely moving to b2? Sorry, sorry, y'all. I keep forgetting to, talk through my thoughts. That way that y'all can, still see where I'm coming from, what I'm thinking, all that. So, okay, how can White's knight prevent black from safely moving to the b2 pawn or moving the pawn to b2? So of course, that is okay, cool. Moving somewhere to where, that knight is defending or attacking that square. So I move to c4. And it says, hold on. Sorry, okay, so it says, you showed some great knight moves. White's knight prevents the pawn from advancing and should win this endgame up a piece. All right, Black's bishop is protecting both pawns on two diagonals. Which pawn should you advance to force a winning queen versus bishop ending? Hold on, I'm gonna have to read that again. Black's bishop is protecting both pawns on two diagonals. Um, okay. Which pawn should you advance to force a winning queen versus bishop ending? Okay. Great job. Black's bishop is forced to capture one pawn, allowing the other to promote. Promote the pawn into a queen. All right. Exactly. White now has a winning queen versus bishop endgame. All right. Can you find the winning move for white that guarantees the pass pawn will promote? Um, can you find the winning move for white? Um, Let me see. Black's bishop awakens and will prevent white from promoting with a drawn game. Try again. Can you find the winning move for white that guarantees a pass pawn will promote? Mm, I'm trying to see. Let me see. Um, because the two bishops are on two different colors. The pawn right here, that's could potentially well. Okay, this does not help. All right, let me go. Okay, so it says, how can you prevent black's pawn on d4 from advancing d4? Oops, this move does not help white promote. I'm confused. I'm gonna just okay. Great work. Black's king now blocks black's pawn from opening up the bishop's. Okay. So the objective of that one was to prevent that diagonal from being open. Okay, so it says nicely done. White will promote to a queen on the next turn. All right, white's passed pawn is only 3 moves away from promoting. Push it. All right. So good job. I mean, good. Black's rook pushes back to defend the black rank. Keep pushing the passed pawn. Black's rook blocks the promotion square. Can you find a way to force the pawn's promotion using black's vulnerable back rank? You got it. Black's rook cannot capture the pawn because of the back rank. Finish this game by forcing a trade of rooks. All right. Nicely done. White wins material and will soon promote the pawn. All right. So now we're on to the next one. Once again, I'm
It's a
putting myself. Oops, sorry. Put myself on mute, and we'll get started. Well, remove myself, put myself on mute, all that good stuff.
It's a wonderful thing when you have a pawn that can freely run to the other side of the board and queen. But that usually doesn't happen. Your opponent is going to do everything possible to stop your pawn. This is why you will usually have to escort your pawn with your own king. In this position, black uses the king to step in front of the white king to create a virtual shield so that the black pawn can run to the promotion square. After king to f2, white's king cannot move closer to the pawn, so the king tries another path to get to the pawn with king to d3. After g3, there goes the pawn. There's no stopping it after g2. And black promotes. In this next position, looking at the board from white's perspective, white moves the king up the board where it can protect its pawn for the last several moves of its journey. After king to c7, black is absolutely powerless to stop this plan. The pawn is protected by its escort, the king. There's no stopping this pawn. Let's look at one of the most classic endings. White has a pawn on the a file known as a rook pawn. If black's king can get into the corner on the a8 square, black will prevent white from promoting the pawn, drawing the game. If white doesn't pay attention and just pushes the pawn forward, this is what can happen. Let's take a look. Black's king can no longer be prevented from getting to the corner on a8. White's pawn advances up the board, and black's king keeps getting closer to it. White's pawn is now in serious danger, so white plays king to c6, moving the king closer to its pawn. After king a7, black's king threatens to win the pawn, so white plays king b5, protecting the pawn. After king a8, black's king sits in the corner, so white plays king to b6, forcing black's king out of the corner. After king b8, black will simply move back and forth from b8 to a8 until white pushes the pawn forward with a7. After king a8, if white does not want to move away from its pawn and allow black to capture it, forcing the draw, then after king a6, the game is a stalemate. Black has no legal moves, but the king is not in check. This is why it's so important for white to block the black king from getting into the corner first, and then focusing on escorting the pawn. That's why white should play king to c6. After king to d8, black's king gets closer to the corner, but white puts an end to that with king to b7. White's king blocks the king's path to the corner and will now escort the pawn up the board. Black plays king to d7, hoping to get to white's pawn in another direction. And after a4 and king d6, the black king has to spend extra time moving around the white king. a5, king to c5, and after a6, king to b5, black's king makes contact with the pawn, but it's too late after a7. White will promote to a queen on the next turn. Now let's see if you've learned how to escort your pawns.
Sorry, y'all. It be taking, like, the controls be taking forever to undo what it's already done. But okay, so, all right, like I said, well, not like I said, like the video was saying, you always, well, not always, but you know, when you have the two kings, you want to use your kings to your advantage. Like I mentioned, two kings cannot be next to each other. So with that knowledge, you want to try to use the kings to help you promote. All right, so white to move. So it's white to move again. Black's king is trying to get to the corner of the board and stop white's advanced pawn. How should white secure the win? So I think still. Okay, so moving here first. All right, so excellent. White blocks the black king's path to the corner. White's pawn is now unstoppable. Black tries to find a new way to white's pawn, but it's too late. Advance the pawn. Nicely done. Black's king cannot prevent white from promoting the pawn. All right, so once again, it's black's, well, not once again, it's black's move now. It says black is down a piece, but has a very dangerous passed pawn on b3. b3, which is right here. Can you find the winning idea that allows this pawn to promote? All right, so I feel like moving. Oh, this does not prevent. Oh, okay. This is not. Let me see. Hold on, I'm tripping. This does not prevent white from playing bf5, controlling the promotions portray again. Can you find what is my objective? Let me see. Can you find the winning idea that allows this pawn to promote? So this we're trying to promote here. Moving there. Okay, so then just keep going. No. White's bishop. Okay, let me see. How can black prevent white's bishop from controlling the b1 promotion square? So it move right there. So I have to move right there. All right, so well done. Black's king blocks the white bishop from moving to the diagonal of the b1 promotion square. The bishop tries to get the diagonal in two moves, but is white in time? All right, right there. Let me see. Should I move again or should I move my king? I feel like first thing. Okay, yeah. Nice move. Black's pawn is ready to promote just in time. Promote the pawn into a queen. All right, great job. Black's king and pawn work together to overwhelm white's bishop. All right, white to move. Are you going to win or draw this endgame as white? It all depends on your next move. Okay, so, oh, I'm white. Okay. Great job. White protects all of the pawn squares on the path of promotion. Push the pawn. Keep pushing the pawn. You got it. White will promote on the next turn. All right. Okay, I always wonder, like, if it's okay. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna try to get through these last two before 8 o'clock comes. All right. So white can't stop black's pass pawn on h5 directly, but can you find a forcing sacrifice that creates a pass pawn for white? White can't stop black's pass pawn on h5. Um, sorry, y'all. Okay. Let me see. That ain't right. Okay. And I can't move my king in any of these unless I move it right there, but that I doubt is correct. Oh yeah, I can't move right there anyways. And that ain't. Oh, clever. White forces black's king to give up protection of the d7 pawn, capture the pawn. Okay, okay. Black's pawn pushes forward. Who will promote first? Advance your pawn. The race continues. Keep going. Great job. White advances the pawn with a critical check. Now let's promote the pawn into a queen. All right. Can you save this position for black? Let's see. Um, all right. Great move. Black prevents white's king from escaping the h file, so white won't be able to promote. What should white play now? Good move. This idea also works if black moves the king to f7 on the next turn. Let's play the king move that prevents white's king from moving off the h file. All right, great defense. Black refuses to allow white's king to escape the h file. Let's play one more move that keeps white's king stuck on the h file. All right. I did it, y'all. I did it. Exactly. Black secures the draw. All right. So it is 8 o'clock, and as y'all know, we do end at 8. Sorry, y'all. I know I keep trying to fix my hair, but it keeps weird. Anyways, thank y'all so much to all of my viewers, all of for tuning in, everything like that. Like I always say, don't be afraid to comment. Don't be afraid to make this personal, y'all. We can always talk. We can always play games together, whatever the case may be, whatever y'all want to do. Like I said, this is for not only my benefit, but yours as well. I want to make this entertaining for my viewers, not just myself. But yeah, so thank you all for tuning in. Happy Malcolm Monday. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Be sure to tune in on Friday at 4:30 so that you guys can, catch me and Zaria playing. And yeah, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Don't forget to get some Malcolm apparel, all of that good stuff, all that good spiel. Make sure that y'all check us out. But yeah, so I'm out of here, y'all. Thank y'all again for tuning in, and I'll see y'all on Friday. Bye, guys.